What's up guys, Connor here from Toor Knives, and today we just got our brand new Beaumont Metal Works grinder in. It's their new 2x72 variable speed axis rotating. I don't know if it has an official name yet, but we're gonna go with that for now. I think it's the first one out there, which is cool. They're gracious enough to send one out for us, so we're gonna get it set up for you guys, show you how we're gonna use it. And go through a little bit of the wiring and installing everything to help you guys out when you get yours. Alright, we got both boxes open. The first box, that smaller box, we've got our variable speed motor, our platen attachment, the arm. It came with an 8-inch wheel and all the nuts and bolts and everything. Box 2 comes with the entire grinder housing, all the main parts. This is the heavy box, obviously. It looks like it's in its horizontal position right now. So it's kind of hard to tell, but we're going to crack into all this plastic and get it mounted, and then hopefully get the motor on there and everything else attached today, and we'll go from there. We'll show you guys the whole process. Alright guys, got everything set up. Grinder's mounted to the bench. VFT is off to the side. These things are cool because it's got its own little mount too, so it's actually not mounting to like the old base plates that they used to use. So what we're going to do now is go over some of the features on the grinder, and then we'll also go over the VFD for those of you who haven't used them. So for those of you who have used them in the past, obviously you have your disconnect right there, and that's kind of bringing power to the motor, and you can tell by the two status lights, the power and the status. And then from there you have a 3-position on-off switch. So basically right now, because it's down, it's in that off position. So you flip it up to the middle, in that middle position. Now you're ready to go. You want to set your speed. So I like to start right around 30. And you click it up, and that'll turn your motor on. So a cool thing about these new grinders is the motor is a direct drive system. This is one of their new features. It's a lot more power to the actual grinder because now you're not worrying about pulleys and belts. So you can see I'll just take it up to 60% right now, and I mean that's about as fast as our KMG 10's fastest setting is. So that's only 60%. I'll take it all the way up to 100% just so you can see the difference. So I'll keep it running because one of the other cool features of this grinder is its axis neutral control wheel up here. So when you're tracking your belt, it's actually, instead of the old machines where that wheel would rotate on this axis, it's actually on a center axis now, so it keeps the belt more in line. You can see as I'm tracking, the belt stays at that same height. It's a lot tighter tolerance as well. Keeps everything a lot more even. The cool thing about these, especially these platen attachment wheels and this tracking wheel up here, is they're now milled out of steel. They're not aluminum anymore. So what that basically means is a lot less wear. I know in the past with the aluminum wheels, one of the issues has been they wear down. You have to replace your wheels as belts start to tear into them. But these are definitely going to last a lot longer. So the last cool feature of these new grinders is this ratcheting belt attachment. So basically it's a little bit different than the old ones. The old ones were just on a spring. Takes some getting used to, but it's a lot stronger. So you can see off to the right, basically it just works like a basic toe ratchet. So put your belt on there and it just locks into place. So you don't have that spring. It's actually a lot more solid for the belt. So just to release it, hit this little lever right there, and that's all there is to it. Pop the belt off, put the belt back on. You want to leave a little bit of slack in there. That way you get a nice tight belt once you hit that lever up. All right, so the last cool feature obviously is that this machine goes from vertical to horizontal. I know a lot of other machines do that, but I want to show you guys how solid this one is in particular, because a lot of them they don't mount to the bench or whatever, and there's ways where you can take your actual base plate and put it on a hinge or whatever, but this is actually a lot more solid axis rotating machine. But before we do that, I'll kind of explain the setup we did just for our platen attachment that they sent us, because I know you guys are probably wondering what we did. All we did was we adjusted the angle by drilling a real quick hole in the side of this platen attachment. That way it can actually sit at a steeper angle. So I'll throw the belt back on there, and I'll show you how this thing rotates back and forth, because it's actually a double retention, double locking axis rotation. So first thing you do is you take this hinge right here. This is basically just a real basic tighten, loosen, it holds it in place. So that's your first piece of retention right there, and then from there you've got a little key locking mechanism. So it's hooked up to a spring right here. All you do is flip it down, and you take the whole machine, super easy, and then you tighten your little hinge just like that. So we'll turn it on. I'll show you guys how this thing tracks in the horizontal position. Just like that. We'll use our axis neutral tracking wheel right here, and just like that you've got a horizontal grinder. And we're actually using, I want to say it's about a 2-inch wheel for the platen attachment, which is plenty fine for us getting into the small nooks and everything for a blade. But really cool machine, very different. Obviously all the features that we went over are not offered on other machines, and that's kind of why we chose to go with this one, especially with the steel wheel assemblies. One of the issues that we were having was a lot of wear and tear on our tracking wheels and our platen wheels. So KMG, Beaumont Metal Works, they're going to be coming out with this machine very soon. This is the first one out there, so we wanted to make sure we did a good review on it for them. But again, couldn't be happier with it. The best grinder that I've worked on so far. Obviously we're going to be putting a lot of hours on this thing in the next couple of weeks, so we're going to do another initial impressions video to come. Thanks guys.